I guess to everyone. Today we have a different type of interview. We can say a meditating interview, which I really like it. So it's my pleasure having with us today Kjell. If it's wrong, you can say the right pronunciation for me, please.
Hi there. It's a pleasure to be here with you and having this chat. Really look forward to it.
So I would just like to start. First of all, I've asking you, how are you? First of all,
I'm very fine, actually.
that's
At the moment, I'm in Oslo with my
okay.
designer, working on some new web pages and a new web shop and a lot of new
The,
stuff.
so
So
for the merchandising, that's what things, the merchandise side, we can say.
yeah, exactly. So we actually received the first tests of the new
It's
hoodies now.
beautiful. It's beautiful. The
Yeah,
artwork, I really like it because it's really minimal but intense the same way.
yeah. She is absolutely amazing.
So I'd like
Really.
to ask how it's what's represented. I want to because it comes naturally to me. What's the representation behind that artwork?
This is from a new album, Blota.
Uh,
So it's all about doing the rituals, about
yeah,
exploring yourself
yeah.
and get to know yourself better. And something came up here.
Fine.
Okay, cool, fine. So so it's all about evolving really.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
for many people, the drum and the fire in the forest is a tool used for this.
Yeah, so that's why I wanted to ask you how start because I don't want to start out because usually I say let's talk about when the band is born. So this it will be a little bit different. I wanted to ask you how you approach in the music field because as well as I read you are really into a lot meditation, nature as well. So it's a combination which is really powerful in a spiritual way. So I'd like to hear from you how to you approach this side of spiritualism and the music itself.
Yeah, it's really hard to say really because I don't belong to any certain genre of
Yeah.
spiritualism or something, but I think somewhere in between, for me it's all about nature. It's about connecting
Yeah.
with nature, which would be connecting with all of us, which is quite close to the natives of pretty much anywhere you go. You find this
Yeah.
in almost all cultures.
Yeah. Yeah.
So so for me it's the music is a tool to connect and to be a part of something more. And hopefully that applies to the people listening to it also.
Yes, because as well it's like a journey. We can say each works you released of certain type of meditation, which is speaking of a journey. There is a length you released about a journey. If I
Yeah,
don't remember if I remember well, which was the name because I have Ferd.
Ferd, yes.
Ferd, yes. So what about because it's really important to see as well the side of the journey. What do you mean? Like a journey motive, like an inside of us, or as a journey we can say through the life?
For me, Ferd is a journey in many ways.
Okay.
It's quite personal because I've been through a lot of things the last few years. I
Yeah.
kind of left the music scene almost because I got myself a family and
Yeah.
had other responsibilities.
Of course,
And
it's normal.
yeah, and Ferd was kind of like my way back into the music scene. So it's a journey in that way, but also the focus on the album, as many knows, I'm quite known for being a teacher of
Yeah.
ancient Nordic music and Viking Age kind of music and instruments. And for me, it's a little bit important to reach out with the story about how this thing worked, because there's a lot of people with a lot of meanings and
Yeah.
about the Vikings, being these rough warriors.
Yes. So unfortunately, this is what is people maybe do. They approach into the folk music, especially the neo Nordic. They do
Yeah,
not understand what I mean. It's maybe they want to approach, but they got the wrong meanings because they think it's all about Odin in the Valhalla, and they maybe don't even know what really the words Viking mean, which is just merchant. Someone's
exactly.
going to the who travel, not the
Yeah.
people living in the place. Yeah, so maybe, and this is why they should have a listen, and especially speak if it's possible with the musician itself, so that they can explain better, which is a different side, not you can say the other side of the coin, which is this, the message all behind it.
Yeah, exactly. And also because when I teach about the music of the Viking age,
Yep.
it's also about traveling, because I mean there's almost nothing of music that we know from the Viking age that came from the Viking area. I mean, almost all of it came from the Middle East, some of it from Africa. So it's also important to tell this, because the Vikings, I mean, that was a multicultural community already.
Yeah, you tell this to me too. I'm in Sicily. We have so many things coming from the Byzantine area, Arabic area. We don't know. We are okay. We can be focused like we are Sicilian, and there is no type, iconic type. It's just a mix of culture, like a melting pot.
Exactly, and that's how cultures evolve.
Yeah, as well, of course. And another, and just speaking, because we're speaking, I'm just looking through your work. Like I was saying before, one thing that I really liked was that you basically wrote something called the quarantine ritual. That was for the COVID. So what was your purpose on writing that? And what was the message that you wanted to send to the people that were listening this work?
Yeah, that was actually, at the moment I was in the late process of working with the Ferd album, which I involved, I mean, there's 20 other people than me on that album doing musical art or different things. And some of these people were living in like Madrid, for instance.
There is a lot of people in Spain that it's really, you can say, inside this spiritual side. Yeah. I noticed this as well.
And I was talking a lot to Fatima, who made the main cover for Ferd, and about the situation there. And I was communicating a lot with my followers in social media, because I was living quite freely on the tiny island. I could walk in the forest. I could live pretty normal.
Because you didn't have the impact of that like we had.
Yes. And I posted pictures from this, and I got so much feedback from people saying, thank you for giving this to us, because we can't. And your pictures and what you do really, really means a lot to us. So I thought and then the thought came to me, what more can I do? I am in this situation. What more can I do to help people, since I am in this I'm one of the luckiest guys in this world at the moment,
Yeah, I am valued as well. But it was so for me as well. So because during the pandemic there were people that were lucky to open just the window and then see the beauty of the nature, take a walk in the nature. But for example, people living in the city, like for example, if you open my windows, you just see buildings and buildings, and just in the forest part, a small rock, which I call, which is supposed to be mountain, but I call it rocks. But it was like, okay, so what should I do? Just focus. I was trying to create inside my place, you can say my sacred place, my room, like a sort of nature space. So just leaf, musk, something coming from the nature, rivers from the water from the river. So just creating all these ambience to going through that period that was really tough, and especially because everyone of each other lives differently. Of course, personally for me, I get it more spiritualism that in that period than actually when you live your life, because it's frenetic. So that gives you the chance to slow down a little bit and find yourself, your true self, because sometimes we forget who we are actually, because we are not supposed to look each other every day in the mirror, but we have to really look at our demons, which brings me to your last album's Blotta. Just saying that it's really an amazing job, so amazing work. So what could you say about that? Just going too deep, because each song, I think it's a meaning as well.
Yeah, every song on that album has a purpose, and the reason why I called it Blota, which is the Old Norse word for blut, or a ritual. Is that I went through a lot the last few years, and I mean, most of us have been in dark places, and we know how that is. and it
Yeah.
can be hard to get out of these things. And I've been through my life, I've been seeing it over and over through my work, which I have been working a lot with psychic healthcare in my life,
Yeah.
and helping people out of these dark places.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I was there myself, and I needed to do something about it. And that was the start of the thought about Bluta. Or the start of it came through this process when I figured that maybe I should try to make this tool available to people, so maybe it can help other people through kind of the same thing.
It's like
Because
when you say I can heal people, but how can I heal myself as well?
exactly, because I can't heal people, but maybe I can make tools so people can easier heal themselves.
Because sometimes
and
if for example, I listen to Blota. Which song do you think it's better to start? There is like I have to, for example, to start for the first, or do you think there is a specific song that could help most? Like, for example, I'm having a dark moment, I really have a lot of anxiety, stress in myself, and I want to go straight to listen to something and release all my stress and anxiety. What should I do? Is it for a personal question as well?
Then all songs would be for different things. So I don't know if you should go through all of it, but shortly, the first one is just the opening of the ritual, where I call on the powers and I ask for peace and for people to stay together. And then I go into the next song, which is Sirgya, which means sorrow, which is to go deep in this not necessarily sorrow, but this deep, dark, heavy force that could weight us down. So if you're really down there, then maybe that would be the song to go to. But that would also be individual. But then for meditation, I think that the first single Hammer would probably be one of the best, or the last song Thoka, which is maybe even more ambient and more relaxing.
To meditate, yes.
Yeah. But then again, you have songs like Galdre, which is a power song. A song, Galdre is an old. It's very difficult to translate. It could mean magic, or it could mean a magical chant. Different. You could cast Galdre to someone to do them harm, or you could use Galdre to heal yourself. For me, the Galdre song is about filling yourself up, and reaching out to what's around you, and many people would probably benefit from going to that. But all songs are different.
I think it should be like a work that any type of we can say. I don't say therapist, because it includes all type of therapist. But like going through, for example, I'm soon to be a naturopath, so we can say for me as naturopath, having this this album, like this work, doing some mindfulness meditation, is really helpful. So for example, the clients say, I have really pain through meditating, I don't see myself feeling good. Okay, start with these songs. I think it should be something, because sometimes we forgot who we are, like you're saying, and especially we forget our connection with the nature, because I think it's as well as also, like you say, for inspiration for your music. So basically in nature, I usually say, which is your musical influence as well, but of course we will go through that as well. But I would like to ask you, in nature, what is that thing that influenced you the most? It could be the element, one of the 4 elements, or just I don't know, or just the landscape.
That's so much. It's I think that the silence, it's never silent in nature, but the silence, it's silence from you don't have all this internet, you don't have all this accounts and social media, emails, it's a way to get away from it, because it is hard for most people to stop this. It's hard for most people to manage to put their phones and the computers away and just exist. And nature definitely helps with that. It helps you to connect to yourself, and it helps you to slow down the system and relax, which is absolutely amazing.
That's why I think that most of people should take at least 2 days or 1 day at the end of the week or during the week I think during the week is better, because at the end of the week, if you don't know some spot in nature where there is no one, you will find other people, so there won't be any silence. Maybe during the week, just find some moment when you just go by your own, because you can go with friends, but by going by your own is always a different experience. You are there by your own, just put your phone in airplane mode, or even just leave it in the car or home, and relax. These are things that each person should do. But luckily, we know many people are like attracted from the dynamic of the daily life. Of course, anyone lives as they want. But I think that in this period that we are living, we are like coming back to the roots. So I saw many people really asking for more this type of connection, and as well for this type of music. And it's like we can say the renaissance of the folk Nordic music. We can say this period, and it's amazing, because you can see, like I said, this connection, this community there is outside. You make you feel closer even to people that are from the other part of the globe, because you create this sort of spirituality sometimes. Even if I don't know if you ever do it, but happens to me that I did some meditation with people from other countries. We were all together, but even if we were doing through Zoom, it was just we forgot the network. We were just there meditating, and it connects you in a different dimension.
Yeah.
So I think with and as well, I want, of course, now going into a little bit into more the music side. Which kind of instrument do you use? Because it's very important as well. Well.
Okay. So where to start? I have an enormously huge collection of historical instruments.
It's historical, great. Yeah, we can say they're just the one you usually mostly.
Yeah, for like Bluta, which I wanted to be, I wanted it to be a very honest, very stripped down album, but still, making it a tool for people that they can use. So on Bluta, I'm really just using my voice, and I'm using my drums, and the lure, the wooden horn, and sometimes I'm using a organistrum, which would be a bass hurdy-gurdy.
Yes.
So and that's all the instruments I have on Bluta. But like on Ferd, I'm using like maybe 50 different instruments on that album.
It's good that we have. So and when you started to approach, you like to play this instrument, how started everything? I mean, you just wake up one day and said, okay, I want to start to learn how to play an instrument. So how did it started your approach with this musical instrument?
I've always been in the music scene. I grew up with a mom that used to be singing in a choir when she was young. And me and I have two brothers. We started off in the school band. I was playing the tuba, and and I was doing a lot of orchestral stuff because I was really good at it. So I was even like touring churches alone with the tuba, playing Beethoven and Bach and stuff. And then
classic bass.
Yeah, but then I kind of hit the wall in that scene, because back then the classical scene was all about rules, what you could not do, because you only have these 12 tones. And I've always been into world music, and I was like, yeah, but what about it? I mean, if you go to other cultures, we have so much more tones, we can do so much more. Why can't we do it? So I quit the classical scene, and then I started going into this was the early 90s. So I started going into the harsh noise scene, trying to wreck and ruin as many rules as possible. And by the end of that, I figured out that the more you break down and ruin and distort the music, by the end of it, you end up with some kind of a meditative landscape of sounds.
Yeah.
You kind of end up in the opposite side of the scale that you try to reach. And then I came into like throat singing, didgeridoos, and this kind of music to how can I connect to this music that I'm creating. And so it's been a journey. It started off like most people do in the classical scene, but it's soon evolved into something deeper, something more. That music, I can't just replicate music written before. I need to create something that comes from inside me.
Yeah. And yeah, this is why as well I'm a bass player, but I always felt that being this, like you can say, standard things you have to play, but it doesn't fit me. So that's why I went to the backstage. But then as well, I said, if I want to play something, but don't be in a band, to just doing something for me. And if I want to be, for example, sitting near LA to play, what I should do. And then I fell in love with the Tegel harpa. It was happen like that. It happens like that. And since then, it's in my mind just, okay, I have to buy talarpa. I need talarpa because talarpa could be the high or the bass. Most people suggest me to buy the bass talarpa because it's similar to bass.
Awesome.
Yes, but I would have both. It doesn't matter. Because I think that once you start to hear this, mostly it's like rough because it's primitive, but for me it's like purest sound.
Actually.
It's perfect because you don't have to perform to no one. You just can perform. It's an expression and it's an extension of your body and your soul what you're playing that. So I think that's I think that's, and I owe these things to people like you who played all this music, and the other musician as well that play this you can say this is really deep music, because you allow people like me and other people in the world to find a connection with nature and a purpose with that connection. Because during the tough days or the days of the weeks, for example, we don't have access to nature. We don't have easy access to this type of instrument. What can we do if we want to just cleanse our soul? Just start a meditation and listen to music. So I think that what you're doing, like the other musicians, is like helping a lot of people as well with the struggling of the daily life, which is really good, and especially to reconnect themselves. If I have to really write a book or write an album about my journey, I will start with some probably songs of you, or songs of Runail, or songs of someone that I started. Yes, really. And it will be like a journey, because I start at one of this point. And as well, I started to be, because living in a city, you're full of, I am a daughter of an accountant, so I was working as an accountant, but I wasn't feeling like good. I feel all the time stressed, with anxiety as well, panic attack. And then I don't want to take medication. I don't want to go to therapist. I wanted to be my own healer. So I started to see the nature what could offer you. So I started to see the herbs as a purpose, the trees, the flowers as a purpose. And then it started the world of naturopathy. And that's why I'm trying to bring it here. But I think, of course, in Italy you can't bring, because once there is a mindset for centuries, it will never change. That's why I think I will go far away as well. The only way of the center of Italy, of the north of Europe, is the only thing I can do for me at least. So I read that something that I was reading on Bandcamp. Of course, my pronunciation will be really bad. But what about Bronseplassen? It's like a collective song you usually sing, because I read that you check the voice. You were telling. Tell me more about this, because I was curious about this album.
It's actually a concert that was recorded last year. So Bronseplassen is a really nice place down south of Norway, which means it really means the bronze place. Okay. Because it was I think they might have been the first place in Norway that reconstructed a Bronze Age farm back in the early 90s. Wow. Absolutely lovely couple who made this place, since COVID, you know, my market was closed down, and they arranged this thing for just Vikings to hang out for a week. And I thought that, can't I just come down and do something, you know, give these people something, and maybe I can try out some of my new songs, and, you know, we can make something funny. So I went down there and I co-oped with my friends in the band Agder, which is absolutely amazing, by the way. They're the ones who helps me make my music videos. So they teamed up and filmed the concert, and I recorded it on my handheld little recorder, and it turned out quite well. So and
that's amazing, because as well all the artwork in your works is created by who, because it's amazing artwork. It's also the same girl did the shirt behind you.
There's different the Ferd album is the main cover is made by a friend of mine in Madrid, Fatima Akkerson, which is absolutely amazing. She also created the visuals for my latest movie for Ham, and she made the Bronseplassen cover as well. But at Ferd, all the songs have different pictures in the cover, and all of those pictures are made by different artists. So there's 10 visual artists on that cover.
So there is a different, instead of saying different influence from the member of the band, is different influence from different artworks.
Exactly, and also from different artists. So as I told earlier, Ferd was a journey in so many ways. For the new album, Bluta, I've co-opted with because Bluta is a little bit the opposite of Ferd, which is a lot of people, a lot of influences, a lot of impressions. While Bluta, I needed to go in and keep it purely honest me. So I'm the only one on that album. There's nothing by anyone else.
But you. So if the people wants to know more about you, just listen Bluta, because it says a lot about for understanding your soul and your music as well. Yeah,
exactly. It's scaringly naked and honest. So I co-opted with two good friends of mine, Espen Winter from the band.
Espen, Eldrim, I know Espen, of course. Yeah. He's an amazing music builder as well.
Yeah, exactly. He's the one who took all the pictures for the Bluta album.
Okay, and there's a lot of pictures.
Yeah. So he created a portrait to each of the songs.
It's amazing. It's such an amazing artist. He's really an amazing photographer and artist. Yeah.
He's absolutely amazing.
Yeah. As a musician, it's amazing.
Yeah. And then I also teamed up with my designer who made the pretty much anything. She made the logos for the albums, Beate Sandmo, and the new merchandise like this one.
She's I noticed that most of this, like you said, this, because I will call it like a huge family. Like you see, I know Espen, even Espen, it's like we possibly are connected in several levels.
Absolutely.
And I noticed that even the artwork, it's simple but is of impact. Yeah. It's not like I don't want to say nothing against the other type of artworks that many bands have, because each taste is taste. But in my opinion, it's just be simple and minimal, but at the same time have an impact, because it's something that remains in your mind. But of course, it's always taste, because it depends from the people here. It's taste, of course, and as well. But I want to ask you about the lives. So if you have some memories of something that reminds, let's say, with pleasure, with some good memories you had of some live performances. It should not be like a huge concert, even the smallest one, because sometimes the smallest, the smallest lives are also better.
Yeah, there's so many. Where to start? I mean, I've been doing a lot of things throughout many years, and I mean, I've been playing these really small art places throughout the 90s and early 2000s. I've been doing like huge festivals with Vajruna and these kind of things. We also have a pretty cool band coming up now, Nebala, which released a new album by Norse Music this spring.
Really? So keep me up to date, because then we will make another interview for that project.
Definitely. Yeah. Then you should talk to Jonas, which is the main guy in the band. I think you'll love that album.
Probably. Because this period is full of releases of amazing music. I almost like it, because Friday was released Wounded Healer by Runa Hill. That was like amazing. That song is me. Then your album.
She's on another level. That lady. Wow.
She's ethereal. I told her all the time, you are ethereal like your music. I love her, how she lives. Her lifestyle, her way of playing music. I told her, I have to be your neighbor one day. I will have to be your neighbor. I told her many times. Yeah, we call each other Moon Sister, because we have this kind of connection, spiritual connection with the moon. So you see, it's all connected. It's like that's why I like to do this type of interview, because I think that people should understand that there is more beside the music you are listening to. It's not only Vikings stuff. It's just stuff. Yeah, and so we were speaking about your memories on the festival.
Oh yeah, I have no idea where to start. There are so many.
Just
good
the
memories.
first time you came to your mind. It could be the most recent or the oldest one. Just.
I think maybe one of the best memories was my debut concert with Bruna. It wasn't the best show we ever did, but that was when I met the guys in the band, and waking up in some hotel in Istanbul in the morning, going down to the breakfast meeting. Oh, it's you're coming today. That's a good
beautiful.
memory.
Yeah, of course, because then you create a connection that lasted for a lot of years. Then it's great and connect, And then just because I have to ask it, of course, it's like a question, just like I asked to anyone your musical influences, because of course you listen to music anyone, so I have to ask
That's
as well.
a massive question. But yeah, I've been listening to so much music throughout my life. I've been listening a lot to classical music, and I've been listening a whole lot to world music. I really like listening to, like, as I was collecting for many years recordings from back in the 20s and 30s. There was a few pioneers traveling the world collecting music from tribes around.
That's amazing,
Yeah, that kind of changed me in many ways.
Yes,
And then I came to this album, which is probably one of the albums that ever meant the most to me. It really changed me as a musician and as a person, which is a cooperative project between the band Hunhur 2, which does throat singing. They're from Tuva, and it's the previous state choir from Bulgaria, called themselves the Bulgarian Voices. Absolutely amazing. And they had a few jazz musicians from Russia, and they teamed up making an album called Fly, Fly My Sadness. And if you're in for a journey, that's the album.
I'm a completely globetrotter. I always say that my house is not my car. My house is just like my backpack. My house is like that. I'm like that. I have to travel. I need 2 months, 3 months. Otherwise, I am like sick. Not homesick. I'm homesick. I need to travel, to explore, to move. So send me the name of that album. I will put it on my phone, because now we're using phone for listening music.
Because that's an album you need to just put it on and listen through it. It's mind blowing. It really, as I said, it changed me as a person listening to that album.
And regarding your future and present projects, about which the one you could say, of course.
First is, of course, the Blut album, which I released one single already. The next single, Breather, will be out in almost 2 weeks.
Okay.
And the album releases the 1st of April. Okay. But before that, next week, there's a TV series coming up on Netflix called Vikings Valhalla, which I have been working with music for.
Really? It's good to know. Yeah. So at least when I will listen to music, I will know where it came from. Nice.
And there's also a new album coming up this year with a band called Folket Borta for Nordavind. People who've been to the Midgardsblot Festival know them very well. Maybe
I know them, because I saw something, because I will be this year at Midgardsblot as well.
Yeah.
I will be there. It will be my first time, because I'm kind of exploring, through the Europe, because I want to find a place that I can call home. So since I'm there, I will explore the place as well. No, and I want to be in Midgardsblot, because I think that there, other being like a photographer, interviewer, I can relax myself as well. Like I can have time to relax as well and have fun. And then it's my music that is going to be played mostly.
Yeah, I mean, this year is going to be a total blast. I really look forward to it.
It's amazing. They have one of my favorite, which is Eivor. I love her, and there are a lot of amazing musicians playing there. So it really will be already everything is most sold out already, so it's will be amazing. So basically you have a lot of things going on, so there is as well, you're a composer, like I understand as well.
Yeah.
So you compose for songs for these upcoming shows as well, and what else is going?
Yeah, well, after that, there's also a movie. I'm not really doing much there, but the band Nebala, which I am part of, has had some music, and Jonas is also playing a part in a movie coming that is called The Northman.
Oh, I know that movie as well. It's with Skarsgård, right? I don't know that. Yeah. Okay, I know that movie. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had a tiny finger in that game, or Jonas really did some of the music, and we have one of the Nebala songs in it. And then of course the Nebala album will release in late May, early June, which I really look forward to let out to the world. That's something different.
So that we will do an interview, and if we have time to catch up, I don't know where, maybe in presence even better, because we can do it in the nature. I want to do an interview in the nature.
Yeah, that's the best.
Yes, yeah. It would be the best, of course. And before ending the interview, just like if you would like to say a message to those people that are still have the roots in the society and still don't understand what amazing is having connection with nature, just people to encourage to find out the true self.
Oh yeah, I think if you have the possibility of just going to nature, either alone or with good friends, you should go out there. You should try to stay there for a couple of nights, just trying to soak it in and try to disconnect your phones and be there together. I mean, if you bring an acoustic guitar singing songs around the campfire, if you're just sitting, meditating, whatever you do, just try to be there. Try to give it a chance. Go there and try it out.
So it's a beautiful message, and I wouldn't add anything else, because basically you said that what it has to be said to start, at least. From that, I think anyone will find their own way. So I can say thank you so much for everything, and I really can look forward to listen, especially will be in June, of course, but you put me really a lot of curiosity about this new project, and I would like to know more. So let's stay in touch for another interview, and of course I will tell you when everything will be out, and because I wanted to make it like released when the second single will be released as well, so they aren't going to be released at the same time, because it was good. It's a good so for that we can arrange in another way, in another part. Okay, so thank you so much. And really was a really like I say sort of meditation interview, you can tell. I will call like that, and you're serious. Thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Fridorare kiblum semdoge torge vidvini Eneftos kardestoge torzover